All right, I have 4:33, and at this time we'll call the meeting of the Kingman City Commission to order. And with that, Mayor Pro Tem, would you please?
Yeah, we all pray with me. Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you so much for all that you do for us, Father. Thank you for waking us all up in the city this morning with a clap of thunder and a nice little rain. We're so thankful for that and grateful, and continue to ask for more rain for our parched little land, Father. Father, be with us tonight as we make decisions about the future of our city. Help us when we mess up. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Takes us to the approval of the minutes of the meeting of August 23rd, 2023.
No changes. I move we approve.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as written. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. Looks like sign. Motion passes. All right. Item number 5, public comments from interested citizens.
We don't have anybody signed in today, but we do have a Boy Scout here looking for his badge.
All right. Very good. Would you like to address the commission?
No.
He's also my neighbor down the street, so good to see you. All right, next item is presentation of a proclamation. And I will read the proclamation of the City of Canyon, Texas. Whereas libraries and librarians play a crucial role in the education and development of children, and whereas librarians are literacy experts offering everything from preschool story hours to summer reading clubs that sustain school year learning, and whereas libraries provide a learning environment that fosters joyful exploration, encouraging students to research subjects that they're genuinely curious about, and whereas librarians create welcoming inclusive spaces for people of all backgrounds to learn together and engage with one another. And whereas librarians provide a variety of books and resources to serve everyone in the community, making knowledge and ideas available so that people have the freedom to choose what to read. And whereas a library card empowers all people to pursue their dreams, explore new passions and interests, and find their voice. And whereas libraries are constantly transforming to deliver new services that connect closely with community needs. Now, therefore, we, the mayor and commissioners of the City of Canyon, Texas, do hereby proclaim September 23rd, or September 2023, as National Library Card Sign-Up Month. And in doing so, encourage everyone to sign up for their own library card today, given under our hand and sealed this 28th day of August 2023. So. Carlene, did you want to say anything? Or
Really quick, thank you for your support. We have, as of today, 9,379 library cards, and we're trying to get to 10,000. So by the end of the calendar year, we'd like 10,000. The month of September is National Library Card Sign-Up Month, so we are going to do a lot of outreach. We're going to be going to the farmers market. We're going down to the canyon for Prairie Palooza. We're going to do the festival at the end of the month, so we're going to be out in the community trying to get people to sign up, and we just appreciate your support. So if you don't have a card, come by and see us.
Thank you. All right, item number 7, consider and take appropriate action on request from Aurelio Rudy Rivas for continued donation of water for the Canyon Community Garden located between 1st and 2nd Avenue and 18th and 19th Street. Gretchen, we've got you presenting, but we got Rudy here, so how are we going to want him? So.
I think he could speak to what he's doing. We have some photos that we'll show, and I think it's just staff's recommendation that he presents what's going on with the garden, and then maybe you consider going ahead and just renewing his water for until you desire not to do so, but request maybe an update from him every 2 years, every odd year.
The garden is still going strong, probably has 3, maybe 4 weeks left. It just depends if we have a good Indian summer. I don't have a number or amount that has been harvested from it, but I have seen quite a bit of squash, quite a bit of black-eyed peas, okra, green beans, and the like.
Rudy, my wife drove me by there here about a month back, and that's just the most incredible garden for the Panhandle of Texas. And all, you
Thank
do
you.
quite a job there. So, do you give lessons?
Well, it's just like
Come work.
people ask me about my yard. You have to water it, you have to fertilize it, and in the lawn, you have to mow it. You don't have to mow the garden. It just needs that care and weeding and so forth. I do have drip irrigation throughout, and that's one of the things that helps because it only puts the water where the plants are. So you don't have a lot of weeds come up except in that area. If you take care of it early, it gets rid of the seeds that are there weed-wise, and it starts producing. Just nature's way of survival. They put out a seed, if you will. And that's something that can be used by humans for consumption themselves, for chicken, goats, and cows even.
How do you distribute the fruit to the garden?
Do what?
How do you distribute the fruit to the garden?
Most of it, people come by and they may pick it. Although this year, because I had so much damage done, that I required people to come by and get trained, because you would be surprised. When people come out there, they have no idea. I mean, I used to plant watermelons and cantaloupes. They never got bigger than a tennis ball before they were harvested. I planted a whole row of onions one time. 3 weeks later, I had no onions. So this year I had a volunteer cantaloupe come up. I don't know where the seeds came from, but it got a little bit bigger than a tennis ball, and it was picked. I don't know what they could do with it, but it was picked.
Very good.
Now, there's been about 50 people that have come by and been trained. A lot of them, you know, for instance, in the okra harvesting, they think you have to have a knife. And what happens when you cut with a knife, sometimes it slips and it cuts the main stalk. That means that stalk is not gonna produce any more okra. Same thing with the black-eyed peas. If you just cut a portion and there's still a small portion on that, it won't put out another black-eyed pea because it thinks it has one there. So that's what I teach. I also teach about how to harvest the cucumbers, because most people want to flip them over. They're easier to find, but you can't flip them over where the top layer of a cucumber is made for direct sunlight. The bottom is not. If it's flipped over, it will die. And if enough of it has, it kills a lot of the vines. So that's the reason that I implemented the training. And a lot of people, or some people, they did know and had harvested in the past, but they did not know how to keep from harming the plant. I had people that came for the green beans, and they actually cut the little stalk And that meant that little stalk is not gonna produce any more black-eyed peas. And they had no knowledge that it needed to be taken care of, how to harvest it properly without causing damage. Anybody have any questions?
Motion and second to approve the agreement and water for the community garden. And all in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Rudy, thank you. Thank you for doing that for our community. And yeah, that's the best garden I've seen in the Panhandle of Texas. So. All right, item number 8, conduct public hearing and consider and take appropriate action on ordinance number 1185, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Canyon, Texas, fixing the ad valorem tax rate, providing for the levying of ad valorem taxes for the use and support of the municipal government of the City of Canyon, Texas, for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2023, and ending September 30th, 2024, at the rate of 0.392860 per $100, or directing the assessment thereof, providing for a date on which such taxes become due and delinquent, together with penalties and interest thereon, providing for repealing the savings and severability clause, providing for an effective date of this ordinance, and providing for the publication of the caption hereof. Bo?
Yes, thank you very much. The current 2022 tax rate is 0.40016 per $100 evaluation. The 2023 no new revenue tax rate, which would produce the same amount of revenue in 2023 as 2022 using the 2023 valuations, that rate would be 0.3349 per $100 evaluation. Staff is proposing a tax rate of 0.39286, which would generate $470,714 more in property tax revenue, which is a 12% increase from the 22-23 annual budget. This is the highest rate that can be adopted and not be petitioned for an election. This increase in property tax revenue would be used to create the first 3 of 9 firefighter positions over the next 3 years. It would provide for a 3% merit increase for current full-time general fund positions. And it would provide for an increase in spending for capital improvement plan projects. The proposed tax rate is comprised of a maintenance and operations rate of 0.37907 and a debt service interest and sinking rate of 0.01379. And even though the proposed 2023 tax rate of 0.39286 is lower than the 22 tax rate of 0.40016, it is still defined as a rate increase because it is higher than the no new revenue tax rate. That's considered a 7% increase in the tax rate. However, those properties that have qualified for a tax freeze, they effectively will be paying less in taxes because their property value did not increase. Staff recommends that the City Commission conduct a public hearing on the proposed tax rate for fiscal year 2023-2024 and to allow the public comment. And staff recommends adoption of ordinance 1185, setting the ad valorem tax rate for the 23 tax year.
A lot of information in the package. Any more questions for Bo before we go to the public hearing? A lot of information there, but I think you've had a lot of that to us, so we appreciate that, Bo. And with that, we will open the public hearing.
Nobody has signed in, Mayor.
We will close the public hearing. And I would entertain a motion.
Move to adopt ordinance 1185, which states that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of .39286 per 100 valuation, which is effectively a 7% increase in the tax rate. This tax rate includes an MNO rate of .37907 and an INS rate of .01379.
I have a second. I have a motion and a second. It does require a record vote, so we'll go to each commissioner, and if you would say yea or nay. And Commissioner Kramer? Mayor Pro Tem? Yea?
No.
All right, with that, the motion passes 4-1, so. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
All right, item number 9, consider and take appropriate action on changing the name of 4th Avenue to University Avenue, or memorializing 4th Avenue to University Avenue. So,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've had this discussion a few times now. Kind of just listed a few items in there. Let me get to it real quick.
Information.
The West Texas A&M has asked about this, they're good with either of these two options. Option 1 would be to not officially change the name of 4th Avenue to University, but to memorialize it. And I've included some pictures of some signs in there of kind of what that would look like. So it'd still be declared 4th Avenue for postal service purposes, but it would have some type of topper on our street sign saying University Avenue or University District, something like that. So what I've got there, that's the option number 1. That is the least obtrusive option of the two. What I mean by that is people don't have to change their address. Option 2 would be a true formal name change of 4th Avenue. I was able to visit with the Postal Service. They would need just kind of a boundary of where to where in order to make that change for postal. Obviously, that will have more things for businesses and homeowners on that street that they would have to change. So I think we're good either way. What we need direction from the commission here today is which option. Second, if you are leaning towards changing the actual name, we would ask for y'all to give the staff some time to obtain citizen comments on an actual name change and give us some PR time to reach out and get comments to bring back to the commission on an actual name change. We'd also would need a boundary of, if we did University Avenue on either option, from where to where. Is it from 23rd to I-27, from downtown Canyon, that to maybe just to Russell Long? So we would like some feedback and decisions on where the commission would like that.
We provided you with the property owners along there, all the way from off, which would be the movie theater,
Yeah, from 23rd all the way to
down to Journey Coffee, and then on the rest of the way down to Awesomes.
So Joe, if you did the option of memorializing a name, how would that topper, like on these signs, how would that read? University?
either we put University Avenue up there or maybe University District. I think Avenue would be just sufficient. It'd just go on top of that. We could probably also ask TxDOT about putting those on top of, either on top of traffic devices, traffic signals, or we would combine the name on the actual existence. So it said 4th Avenue / University Avenue, but it's still declared 4th. There's a combination of those that we could do. Obviously, those will be at our expense. We'd have to order those.
the toppers or the new sign if we went with
Yeah,
it. Would be our
anything.
expense either way.
Correct. That's correct. I really don't have an opinion on this, but obviously I support West Texas A&M, so cool idea. We're good either way. We would just ask to, if you do want to change the actual name, to give us some time to get some feedback from our community that are on that street. That's the only grace I'm asking for.
Has police or fire weighed in on that at all?
No. Do you want them to?
Sure.
They're sitting here. Let's start with our favorite, the police department.
I don't think we have anything negative about it. The officers will probably continue to use 4th Ave for an address. They'll know what they're talking about. I don't think we have anything negative, any concerns about it at all.
Fire chief, thoughts?
No concerns. It would be just similar to you moving. The last time you moved, all the addresses you had to change on every account you have and every subscription or anything that you do electronically would have to be changed. I've just spoken to one person that lives along the street, and that seemed to them that was a lot of change for something that didn't have to occur.
I would lean towards the memorializing for that reason. One, you're not requiring everyone to go through the whole process of changing from what they've already known. There's a few businesses along that who already probably have their address stamped on various items that they sell in their store that would worry me about them having to completely rebrand, if you will, what they have. But I like the memorializing concept.
I visited with folks earlier, when we were talking about it, I think, just thinking through banks or, Edward Jones, you're talking about thousands of customers that they've got to notify to get those addresses changed. So it is a big deal for them, so.
I changed it today. University House.
You'd go ahead and change it to University.
I'm leaning towards memorializing it.
Paul, why do you think, why would it be easier to change? I mean,
I think in the
give me your
long,
thoughts.
University of the town, it'd be much better in 10 years. Once it's all done, it'd be really good.
I think
You'd probably just do the whole street, wouldn't you?
Oh, okay.
All the way to Brown?
So just make the whole street University Avenue instead of 4th.
That University of Leipzig, 10 years would be wonderful.
I like the thought of the whole street because it does get confusing when you're on the same street and all of a sudden it changes names.
Just go all the way from I-27 to Brown Road where it bookends. Would simplify it.
When we were talking about this earlier, I did reach out to both Andy Higgs and Dan Schumann, and both of them are alumni at Sports or deputy, but they really like the idea of changing it to University.
Okay.
It would affect quite a few of their customers, but
If we change the name, what would be the process or what would be that timeline before it would be official?
The Postal Service didn't give me a timeline. They just said they'd have to have some formality, maybe an ordinance of some sort of the name change from this body, and then they would make it all work. They didn't give us, he couldn't give me a timeline of how long that would take.
Okay.
And you need to have your time to do what you need to get ready for all
Right.
business. So,
Talking to the public, is that what you're saying, Paul?
plenty of time for that.
Right, but I think she was asking like if we did take,
Don't take that.
how long it would take on that. And the Postal Service didn't give me a lot of,
Well, and I'm even
Commentary.
thinking about business owners, how long would they have to be able to get, they wouldn't want it to be something that just by next month, you have to have everything switched over. They would need some leeway, I would think.
right, and I know that's what was presented previously from the commission, that leeway period. I think we could do that pretty gracefully, work with our Postal Service to do that. If we are going this way, I have visited with Megan about trying to do some public communication and garnering some feedback. And I think that, obviously, I would encourage the elected body to attend those commentary periods, but we would be happy to bring those feedbacks to this body for consideration. And we can do more than just a hearing. We can do mailers and everything. We got all the lists. We can do mailers as well. Get feedback before. We've done it before. We did it with the master downtown plan. We did the same kind of thing. So we'd be happy to do whatever the commission would like on feedback.
We've discussed this, there is a current university.
Yes, there is currently a university on the campus. It's Second.
Second Avenue right there where the light intersection is.
So would they change that after this? If this happens, would they change that to something else?
I don't know if that's technically a 911 street adjust.
I think it's just a memorial.
I think it's just a more memorialized. Second is actually, that's where the old flame used to be, right there by the box. That is in our GIS, Second/University Avenue.
Would seem that should be changed. I mean, maybe that's up to them. And I think part of what we put out to the public too, they're the ones, and Dr. Wendler is the one that have requested this too. So,
So, where does that leave us? Are y'all good for me to go and reach out and get some communication?
Yes.
That's what I would like to hear. I would like
We
to
don't have
hear
to make
more
any,
thoughts.
we don't have to make any decisions today. And we can propose these two options as well to them, but just talk that the commission is seriously thinking about this consideration. What are your
I think everyone good with that, or we want a motion to the?
I think we got a consensus, Mr. Mayor, so.
All right, very good. Okay, takes us to item number 10, consider and take appropriate action on a development agreement for extraterritorial jurisdiction development between the city of Kenyon and property owner Diamond R Real Estate, known as Rocky Ridge. Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have been working on this development for some time, more than a couple months. And so we've been working on this with Dustin and Ty. This development has some challenges, to say the least. We'll dive into that. But we are ready to move forward. They are almost completed on their drainage report. I don't believe it's been technically approved, but it is near the end. I think we're in third comment phase, second. We're in third on Vista. Right. So we're second on this, getting those finalized. We're trying to get this development agreement in and done and moving forward for Ty. Been waiting patiently, so. I've given you a little snapshot of the development, being ETJ development. I did mention in here, we had a long conversations with Ty over the last at least 2 years. Trying to get water service and sewer service to this property is a significant challenge. And that's ultimately what's determined to be an ETJ development. You can see the layout on Exhibit B right there. What Mr. Davis, their design engineer, has proposed. Those are kind of that cross right there is kind of a channelized pond. Channel pond is kind of what we're calling it, so that will be their drainage structure right there. So it's a little bit different. Next page, Gretchen. Actually, keep going. It's the Exhibit B in the agreement. There it is. Zoom in. So you can see that kind of cross-looking thing. That will be their drainage. It'll be a channel, but it also will hold and retain water for the duration that they need to slow release it into the natural draw to the north. I know that drainage has kind of been a challenge on this property for Dustin trying to get through. I think we're all good and set moving forward on this. So,
This is a concept plan that you guys have seen in the past, correct, Joe?
yes, correct.
It's been approved.
Yes.
Like Joe said, we've tried multiple times to get drainage easements to the north, but unsuccessful in that. And then it came down to a negotiation on detention ponds between property owner, city, and the county about how to handle those. I think we're to a point where we have an agreement, kind of, I guess this would be the agreement of how that's gonna be handled.
I don't have any other comments. We are ready to move forward and take action on this.
So is there gonna be a house on 31? 21? It's at the very north end of the cul-de-sac.
Yes. Always cul-de-sac, east or west?
Both of them, 31 and 21, it's the northwest corner.
What?
Right there.
Sorry.
This is probably the most challenging one.
Just because of elevation.
Yeah. It's got a lot of going on it, but we're setting finished floor elevations to account for that.
It is a challenging piece, to say the least.
It's a very challenging piece.
Ty is here to answer any questions as well, the developer and owner.
I don't know if I can answer any questions. I'm just glad to be here.
I've been working on this one for 4 years.
Yeah, we've been working on it for a while.
It's been a long time.
So it feels good to be here.
This one precedes Joe.
We're ready to cross the finish line, at least on this side of the table. So,
I think we tried hard to get these bits going off to the north.
Well, we
yes,
tried a lot of different things. We tried to do a full urban and annex the property, but the water and sewer just became extremely problematic and not cost efficient for the developer or the city. We tried to do it half-acre lots with water, and then we had water pressure issues, and then we ended up with this.
and we both tried to get drainage easements.
Tried to get drainage easements, couldn't make that work, so it's been a very long process for a relatively small development. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt the ETJ development agreement for Rocky Ridge subdivision.
A second.
Motion second, is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next item, number 11, is consider to take appropriate action on a development agreement for extraterritorial jurisdiction development between the City of Kenyon and property owner High Plains Developers LLC, known as Eagles Landing. Joe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've been working on this one. This one is also nearing the completion on the drainage reports. This one is not contiguous to the city. It is east of Oasis, and it connects to Pondicetto, south of town. Just a street going down approximately 28 lots. Not a whole lot to this one, so just a single street. You can see in the aerial photo, there's Oasis right there. Yep. I can zoom in.
I can only go so big.
So there's the area highlighted there. There is an existing, I think it's a house right there in that corner. So but it'll go all the way back. And I believe they're doing some type of drainage structure at the very back lot, I think.
It's there's some similarities to Rocky Ridge. We're gonna have a channel on the east side that goes down to a retention pond on the very north end. Because the north end of this realistically butts up against Cherry Blanc Creek, which is a floodplain. So we'll discharge into the floodplain basically as it does today.
Their concept plan is approved. And I don't believe having any more comments. We are ready to move forward on this ETJ development as well. As I said, it is not contiguous to the city.
This one will be, one of the differences, Rocky Ridge, when we build it, we're gonna build all of it. This one will be phased.
I move to adopt the ETJ development agreement for Eagles Landing subdivision.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, like sign. Motion passes.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Audrey.
Thanks, guys.
Let's move on.
It's happening.
Pay attention, pay attention.
All right, that takes us to item number 12, executive session pursuant to 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.074, personnel matters, city attorney annual evaluation, and 551.074, board appointments, Tiers Board and Canyon Economic Development Corporation Board. With that, I believe it is 5:10. We will adjourn to executive session.